Game Professor, and welcome to Games is Lit 101. Now, I know I'm not the only one here playing the new Legend of Zelda game. And wow, am I enjoying it! I don't idolize the Zelda series like some people do, but I have a lot of love and respect for the franchise, and this entry certainly did not disappoint. It expanded the open world elements of the series into an enormous incarnation of Hyrule that offers so many challenging puzzles and gorgeous vistas and varied combat scenarios that I have not been able to stop playing it. Which means I've been playing a lot, since I have it on the Switch and the stupid thing is portable and I can take it wherever I go and never spend another minute on anything else no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Point is, it's really, really good. But once I started coming off the high a bit and, being able to gain some distance from it and look at it critically as I was playing it, I started noticing something. This shouldn't work. But it does. So, if it shouldn't, then how and why and okay, I'm gonna back up and try and explain. Breath of the Wild starts you off in a relatively enclosed space, but in pretty short order you're sent off to explore the world with a single quest: defeat Ganon. He's swirling around the castle and you have to go beat him, and you can actually march right on over there if you want, but you're not powerful enough to stand much of a chance at first. You do get two other main quests, one to recover your memory of the events that led to Ganon's rise to power by using clues to search for things with unknown whereabouts, and the other to find 4 divine beasts that will help you out. But the vast majority of the game is just exploring the world to find more powerful weapons, learn more helpful recipes, and complete challenges to raise your health and stamina stats. It's probably hard to understand without playing for yourself just how aimless this game can feel sometimes. I spent a lot of my time playing the game, especially early on, not really knowing precisely where I was supposed to go or what I was equipped to handle. I would just wander around looking for opportunities to obtain new skills, items, and stat boosts, and that just really should not be very interesting in and of itself, but somehow it really, really is. The classic Zelda formula includes an open world that starts small and grows as you get more tools and abilities. There's always a specific thing you need to do in order to get one of these things, and it allows you to move on to the next part of the world. It's something of a Metroidvania-style approach, and it provides a very clear structure to the gameplay and story, so you always have a specific and easily defined goal. Breath of the Wild seems, at first glance, to abandon this structure in a way kind of reminiscent of the very first Legend of Zelda game, but that doesn't mean that structure is completely gone. It's more like it's mostly invisible and almost entirely in the player's control. It does this mostly in 2 ways. First, it strongly identifies and then maintains your sense of purpose, and then it makes everything you do feel like progress. Probably the most important element in a broad sense is that single major quest: defeat Ganon. From the beginning, it's made clear that you have an ultimate goal, one that you could pursue immediately, except that you're not yet powerful enough to stand much of a chance at accomplishing it. This alone is not enough to make it all work, but it is the foundation of the game's free-range structure. From the beginning, you know what you have to do, and can do it, but you also know that you really should spend some time exploring the world to equip and improve yourself first. The overall effect this has on your motivations and sense of purpose is that everything feels like progress. Your increasing power isn't so much complementary to the game's rising rate of challenge as it is preparatory for whatever you may choose to take on next. Anything and everything that makes you more formidable is in and of itself progress toward your ultimate goal. The game also uses the layout of Hyrule itself to keep you aware of what your purpose is and where you need to be going. Next time you dive into Breath of the Wild, do an experiment and check to see how many recognizable landmarks are clearly visible from any given high point or important location. More often than not, it'll be at least 2, often 3 or more. Death Mountain looming in the distance, Hyrule Castle swirling with Ganon's evil energy, the dueling peaks rising into the sky, a shrine just waiting to be challenged, one of the divine beasts you've freed pointing to the castle. Reminders of where you've been and where you've yet to go are constantly in the background and on the horizon in most everything you do. This map design was quite purposeful, so you rarely feel as if you're only in one small space, instead constantly aware of the bigger world you're in and all the things you have left to do. Now, those are some pretty potent ways to keep the player engaged in the world, but they're only part of the equation here. It's not enough for Breath of the Wild to make each instance of your progress feel important. It has to actually offer those opportunities for progress constantly, at every turn, so that even when you just take a random detour, it feels like what you're being given is of the same importance toward your ultimate goal. Skyrim gets picked on a lot for this, but it really is one of the easiest and definitely the most well-known example. The world is very interesting to explore, but the quest structure very quickly turns into an extensive laundry list of random side quests that are quite fun to pursue, but ultimately make you feel more and more distant from the main story and your ultimate goal. The game is designed to make you want to do all this extra stuff, but however fun it is, it still usually feels like a distraction, like something that's taking you away from what you're actually supposed to be doing. Breath of the Wild doesn't feel like that. Everything you do feels like it has weight, like it matters. Part of this is because the world is impeccably designed to reward exploration. You know in open world games when you see something and think, I want to go there, or I want to try this weird thing, and nothing happens? Breath of the Wild does not do that. 9 times out of 10, it foresaw what you would want to do and rewards you for it, so it's hard to become disillusioned with exploration when even the random little things you try and the random strange places you try to go usually yield some kind of result. But the main reason everything you do feels important in this game is that almost all rewards in the game are tangible and worthwhile in their own right. Each Divine Beast quest grants you a new power, each shrine grants you a spirit orb, even if you just notice a bunch of bokoblins hanging around and take them all out, you get a useful item. Nothing feels insubstantial, everything has a direct and tangible consequence. The items themselves are another element of the game's design in this sense, specifically the durability system. Normally, these kinds of mechanics are at home in survival games, where they represent one of many resource management challenges, but in Breath of the Wild it contributes to an important gameplay dynamic. Everything is consumable, and that makes everything valuable. The durability system is one of the more criticized elements of the game, and I can certainly see why. It can be rather frustrating, and I definitely get the argument that it discourages use of powerful or unique weapons, but flawed or not, it does play into this system of constant reward. In games without a durability system, getting a new weapon is a fairly simple process. If it's better than what you have, you use it, and if it's not, you ignore or sell it. The only value in a new item is its ability to surpass what you already have. But with Breath of the Wild's durability system, this isn't the case at all. Maybe you're using a knight's broadsword and you come across a knight's broadsword. This isn't a duplicate to sell, but a backup that will allow you to continue using that weapon even after your current one breaks. And suddenly, nearly every weapon you pick up has some level of value, some reason why it might not hurt to keep it around, and you very rarely run into that awkward scenario where your quest is rewarded with a subpar piece of equipment. Again, everything is progress. Everything noticeably contributes to your overall goal of gaining more power so you can face Ganon. Add this to the other systems revolving around consumable goods, most notably the cooking system, which rewards your experimentation with new and helpful items that are actually pretty central to the game's flow of gameplay, and you have a system that constantly rewards the player in tangible ways and makes them feel like every action they do leads to progress. All these mechanics combine towards forming a gameplay dynamic of scarcity. But the world is so full of things to constantly do, discover, and collect that scarcity here is less about actually having scant resources and more about having constant rewards. Combined with the nature of the story and quest, this forms an aesthetic of play that constantly feels like you're making meaningful progress, even if you're just exploring Hyrule and messing around. So even though there's relatively little direction compared to previous Zelda games, Breath of the Wild does a remarkably and abnormally good job of designing the game so that your own actions bring structure to the experience, however you'd like to approach the game. Just one of many reasons why this is a unique and stellar entry in the classic franchise. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing so other people can more easily know that this show exists. And if you really liked the video, you can check the description for links to Games is Lit 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Next time, we'll be talking about the nature of game mechanics as representational of their subjects, and my next big literary analysis is a dissection of the story and themes of Alan Wake. So until next time, class dismissed.
Thank you.